Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, in today's lesson, I want to cover the 4 steps to having a successful mindset. Now, I made this for coaches for our mentorship program for the independent coach, but it's information that really needs to be out there for everybody. This is not just exclusive to coaches, this is just how we create a successful mindset and achieve what we want on a daily basis. So, let me take you real quick through this. Step one. All right. In step one, if you're going to work towards changing your mindset, you need to become aware of how your mind creates your reality. We do not interface with reality directly. And so let me explain this to you. Basically, what's happening here is we have our 5 senses where we take in raw data from an external event that happens. We filter that down through our unconscious and conscious processes of a lot of data to very small amount consciously we perceive. That is then filtered, it's generalized, distorted, and deleted, and we base that on different metaprograms, values, beliefs, past decisions, past memories, and everyone's filtering system is unique to them, right? Everyone we know has had different memories, different decisions, values, beliefs, metaprograms. Metaprograms are essentially a way of thinking. So you can be pessimistic versus optimistic. You can be a towards or an away from. You can be somebody who tries to avoid pain or seeks pleasure. These are different types of ways of thinking. And so we take that information after we filter it, we chunk it down into very small chunks because obviously we cannot perceive 2 million bits of information that are coming in at us at all times. So we have to really filter that down. Some say it's about 134 bits per second, which is not a whole lot we're actually experiencing of what is actually occurring in our reality. And from that, we create an internal representation. We create a map of our reality. And our map is different than other people's maps. We can have the same external event happen. You and I are there because of your filters, because of how you value your values, because of your beliefs, because of your past decisions and memories and metaprograms. You're going to perceive that event differently than I will, and you're going to create a different map or a different internal representation, right? Internal, we say representation or a representation of that event, that information. And we, from there, have that left of what that event was, right? So anything that is not occurring right now in this moment, okay, the ever eternal present, if it was something that happened even 5 minutes ago, we don't actually like the map, right? That we're picturing that thing that happened 5 minutes ago is not the actual thing, right? If I tell you, think of a dog, right? The dog that's coming up in your mind's eye that you're picturing and the actual dog in reality, they're not the same thing. They are an internal representation of that thing. That is what we hold in our mind, in our memory. And so when we realize that, when we understand that, we're not actually experiencing reality directly. We're experiencing our map of reality, or how we're representing it. We know that that's what we are responding to, not the actual event. So when we can change that representation, right? Basically, it changes your state, it changes your physiology, and then it will in turn change your behavior. Okay? So that's step one. Now, step two, we need to identify what's standing in the way of you having what you want. We got to remove it, right? There are blocks, there are limiting beliefs. And so, said another way, if you find and remove these limiting beliefs and emotional baggage, we can essentially move on to getting these things that are preventing us from reaching what we want to reach, get them out of our way, and start taking action. So a couple different resources that I like to use for removing limiting beliefs and emotional baggage besides the NLP work that I do. Byron Katie, her website, thework.com, and book, I believe, of the same name. Fantastic stuff. It's more conversational therapy. NLP techniques, as I just mentioned, like the timeline and mapping across processes. And then another website called Recreate Your Life. They actually take you through a belief change, and a lot of them are very common beliefs that we have, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't value myself. These are the types of things. So step one, essentially, we need to understand how our reality works. Step two, figure out what's standing in the way of what you want and remove it. Then step three, we need to create a well-formed outcome. So there's a couple questions we need to ask ourselves. We basically ask ourselves, what do we want? And once we know what we want, okay, we have to state it in the positive. A lot of times I've asked a client before, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? Well, I don't want to be overweight is what they'll say, or I don't want to feel like this, or I wish I had, I just don't have energy. And so what you want to do is state what you want in the positive. If somebody says to you, or if you say, well, this is what I don't want, the question should be, what would you like instead? Okay? From there, how will you know when you've got it? We need to use, because we perceive reality through our 5 sensory data, right? It's raw data that's coming in. Our 3 primary sensory systems are visual, our auditory, our sense of hearing, and our kinesthetic, our sense of touch. We process our information through that. And so when we form our well-informed outcome, what do we want? Stated in the positive, and then how do we know when we've gotten it? What will you see? What will you hear? And how will it feel when you've achieved that? We need to create that feed-forward map, or that map of what we want to move our attention towards, so that we start seeking that in our external reality. We want to ask, how will getting this benefit me? What will this do for me if I achieve this? That brings you into alignment with your values. What is the value you are seeking through this? Okay. If what you want is a $10,000 a month personal training business, well, you don't want the $10,000. You want the lifestyle and the feelings that the $10,000 a month affords you. That's what you're looking for. And so we're not chasing the thing, we're chasing the feelings that are associated with that. We need to become clear on that. And then the next question is, how will making this change affect other aspects of my life? My family, my community, myself, my environment. All of these things are questions of ecology, right? Am I doing this for the right reasons? Will my family benefit from this? Will it leave some of my family behind? Will this affect my community in a positive way? If these are not addressed, a lot of times these unconscious blocks, or ecology blocks, can actually prevent us from achieving what we want and having a positive mindset to move towards it with. And then finally, what would happen if I didn't make that change? And the question here is just simply to perceive more pain of not changing. A lot of times as humans, we are driven by avoiding pain or seeking pleasure. If we can kind of stir the pot on how not changing would actually create more pain in our life, it can actually catapult us to changing more rapidly and with more force behind it, right? Or power behind it. And so creating a well-formed outcome, step number 3. Now, the final step number 4, we need to take action. Nothing happens without actual action and moving your body and doing the things that you need to be doing to achieve what you want to achieve. Now, also to that, we have to be flexible with our behavior. So you got to ask yourself, what are your steps to achievement? Okay, what are the action steps I need to take? And we want to work backwards from when you see yourself accomplishing the goal, right? So we call this future pacing in NLP. It is picturing yourself in that future moment where you have achieved that goal and feeling now what it would feel like if you had it, and then reverse engineering that process, saying, right before I achieved it, what happened right before that? And before that, what happened right before that? And so we start chunking backwards back to the present on what that would look like and all the steps necessary when we achieve that goal. Okay, we can do this all in our mind. Then we visualize. I say visualize because visualization is that ability to tap into the unconscious processes that are running your life and create, again, what I call a feed forward system. A lot of times we have our feedback system, right? Feedback meaning if we consider ourselves to be a kind person and we say something that is mean to someone, well, we feel bad about that. The reason we feel bad is because our body and our mind, our brain is giving us feedback to say, hey, You being mean is not in alignment with your values of being a kind person. You believe yourself to be a kind person, but you did something mean. Therefore, I'm going to make you feel bad. And that's the feedback to tell you, oh, I shouldn't be doing that because that's not in alignment with my values. And so when we visualize and we picture that thing that we want to have and the steps associated in pursuit of that goal, we create a map, right? We create a new map because, as I said earlier, we're not perceiving reality directly. And so because of that, we create this internal map in our mind. We need to be creating that for our future processes and the things we want to move towards so that it gives us that sensory awareness of what it is that we need to look out for. And so we want to be able to see that and experience that in our reality. If we haven't seen it before, if we don't know what that would look like or feel like, we may not ever get to experience it. And so finally, the last part of this is, how are you going to adapt when shit hits the fan? Okay, you've got to be flexible. And behavioral flexibility, all it is when you respond to your circumstances in the most effective way. Behavioral flexibility means how you are not reacting, but responding. Are you taking your time? Are you using patience? And are you changing the way that you go about things in order to achieve that thing that you want, right? You got to take action in your mind first. And every action that we every action that we take is first starting with a thought, right? Every physical thing we manifested into this world, from a cell phone to the computer I'm talking to you on, was first a thought in someone's mind before it actually became a physical object, okay? And so we need to understand that everything starts with thought, and how you are thinking and where your mindset is around this stuff is extremely important into how you achieve your goal. So again, just to recap, the 4 steps to create a successful mindset: awareness of your thoughts, emotions, state, and behavior, because you understand that how you are responding to reality is a result of your internal representation, your representation of that map of the world. We want to focus on, once we understand that, is identifying and removing those limiting beliefs that are standing in the way. Number 3, we create a well-formed outcome so that we develop clarity in what it is we do want, and then we take action and be flexible. Not everything's going to work out the way you want it to, and if you have that behavioral flexibility while you're taking action, you won't get caught up only doing things one way and then not being able to adapt when shit does hit the fan. So take action, be flexible. These are the 4 steps to create a successful mindset. I hope this was helpful for everyone. I would love to discuss this further with you. If you want to drop me a comment or send me a DM, I would love to chat with you. If you need help with this, I do coaching. I can help you through this process and help you learn it and ingrain it into your subconscious so that this becomes a part of how you go about everything in your life. This has been a process that has helped me immensely in my pursuit of the goals that I have, and also my clients. I use this process quite often with them to help them understand these processes. So if you need help, don't be afraid to reach out. Okay, I'm here for you, and share this with somebody. Finally, if this is beneficial to you and it's been beneficial and you've gotten value from it, you must know that there's other people out there who can benefit from this. So please, if you're a helpful and a caring person, share this out to those people that you know can benefit from it. And keep following me, because I'll keep dropping these types of lessons and just help you develop a better mindset so that you can approach your day with the type of energy and motivation, self-esteem, and confidence that you want, because that's the best place to live from. All right? Talk to you guys soon.